Good evening, councillors, and welcome to our annual general meeting of council. Welcome also to members of the public that have joined us this evening. With so many people in this room, may I politely ask that we keep background noise to a minimum. Thank you. Please note that we have also received notification of an intention to film this evening. If any member of the public attending this meeting objects to being filmed, please advise us immediately, and we will instruct you are not included in the filming. Before we start, as it is custom and practice, out of respect to late members of West Suffolk Council and our predecessor councillors, I would like to begin with a moment to remember former St Edmunds Borough Councillor Paul Farmer, who has sadly passed away. For more than a decade, Paul championed his Evergate ward and the wider area on the Town Council and Suffolk County Council, as well as being portfolio holder for arts and culture and Lakes Resources and Efficiency in St Edmundsbury Borough Council. Rightly, his amazing public service was recognised by Queen Elizabeth II at the Birthdays Honours List when he was appointed MBE for services to the community in Suffolk. Would you please now stand to observe on that silence? Thank you. Please be seated. I'm delighted to be able to welcome our new and returning members to our first meeting of the new administration. With elections being what they are, I've also had the opportunity to be able to say a proper farewell to outgoing councillors at a reception last Thursday. This, however, was our first opportunity as council to mark Councillor John Griffith's 20-year leadership of the council, which I'm sure has been challenging at times, and I would like to acknowledge his dedication and commitment to the role. Thank you, John. And so, turning to the agenda. Agenda item 1, election of the chair of the council for 2023 and 24. Item 1 on the agenda is the election of the chair of the council for the ensuing year. May I please call for nominations for the election of the chair of the council. Councillor Hines.
Thank you. Old habits die hard. I would like to nominate, please, for the position of chair, Roger Dicker.
Councillor Dicker, do you accept this nomination?
Yeah.
Are there any other nominations? In that case, I'll move straight to the vote. All those in favour? Any against? And any abstentions? Thank you. I will now confirm that Roger Dicker is chair of West Suffolk Council for the following year. At this juncture, it's normally customary the outgoing chair would acknowledge his year in office. The role of chair, and I quote from West Suffolk Council Constitution, is to be the civic and ceremonial head of the council, not to be confused with being the leader. It involves representing and promoting the whole of West Suffolk during their term of office, enhancing the image of the district, encouraging understanding of the council's roles, priorities and partnerships, Promoting public involvement with the council's activities, and importantly, the role is apolitical. My civic year has included many events attended, from the monarchy to the military, the humble, the angry, the appreciative, volunteers, and the incredible work of charities. The list goes on. I derive much pleasure and knowledge from attending events via invitations from other councillors to see firsthand their achievements and discover new ways of working, for we're never too old to learn. For me, my civic year has been a life-reaffirming event. My thanks go to my wife and consort, who after 10 years of unflinching support is re-establishing her credentials as a Cambridge player and is therefore unable to attend this evening. I'd like to thank the office of West Suffolk Council in their support to me as an individual councillor and their support of this civic role. And lasting thanks to Ruth Pistoria, the Chair's PA, whose knowledge, guidance and sheer passion for the role she so deeply feels has been a blessing. And finally, with West Suffolk now on the cusp of a new era, I give the new Chair of West Suffolk Council my best wishes in their civic years to come. Roger, would you come forward, please? Very easy, Roger.
Good evening, members of the council, members of the public. It is an all-round privilege to represent West Suffolk Council in the community as chairman. I've done this many years ago for Forest Heath, but it's a bit different now. I think that was 24 members, I've got 64 in front of me here, and a bit of a bigger and busier room. But it is a role that at Forest Heath I enjoyed very much, meeting people, going out there, pushing the name of the district council that we all represent. So I will be looking forward very much to the coming year. I've known Mike for quite a number of years. In fact, he stole one of my villages off me when the boundary changes and that. But you're looking after him all right and that. And certainly, as the chair last year, I know he's done a lot of work, and I've got certainly a high level to meet up to the standards that he did last year. So, Michael, thank you very much for being the chair last year. Right, I've got a present for you. I'll start out looking soon. Right, have we got any apologies for absence?
Apologies for Rachel Hood and Richard O'Driscoll.
Okay. And now on the agenda it's the election of Vice Chair of the Council for 2023 to 2024. Are there any nominations for Vice Chair?
Thank you, Chair. I would like to nominate Councillor Pat Hanlon as Vice Chair of West Suffolk District Council. Thank you.
Okay, any other nominations? Margaret Mark, sorry, I couldn't see you over there.
Thank you. Yes, I would like to nominate John Augustine.
Councillor Hanlon, Councillor Gustin, do you accept your nominations?
Yes, I do, Chair.
You do as well, he got you there first. Okay. Sorry. Any other nominations? Vice Chair of the Council? Okay. So we need to take the vote for the first nomination of Pat Hanlon. Yeah. And I've been told to ask that your hands raised for a long time up in the air so they can see you. Yep. And then we do the vote for Councillor John Augustine. Hanlon, 25 to John Augustine. So I declare that Councillor Pat Hanlon is elected Vice Chair of West Suffolk Council 23-24. And now we invite Councillor Pat Hanlon to sign his declaration of acceptance of office. Item 5 is the election of Leader of the Council. May I please call for any nominations for the election of Leader of the Council, please?
Thank you, Chair. Before we get into the election, I would like it to be a recorded vote, please.
Yeah, there'll be new members here who won't understand that, yeah.
Just to explain the procedure for recorded vote, this isn't in the Constitution for motions without notice, so a motion will be required to suspend council procedure rules. That that will need to be seconded, and then you'll be asked to take a vote. If that vote is carried, we will take the recorded vote, and I'll take you through that procedure once it's carried, if it's carried. Okay? So your motion is to suspend council procedure, please?
Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is.
If it's seconded.
I'd like to speak on it, please.
Councillor Wharton is seconding it.
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to second that motion, please.
Okay, you say you want to speak on it, you may speak now. You have 10 minutes. Up to 10 minutes. I believe Councillor Wharton has seconded. Oh, sorry, but you are able to speak.
Let me move it forward. Let me move it forward, Chair. We find ourselves in a very complex place at the moment. We have a council with the Conservatives as the largest group, but without sufficient votes for overall control. We have Labour putting up someone for the leader of the council, despite having less votes than the Conservatives or the Independents. And we have the Independents forming a political group. The Independents are clearly the kingmakers. They can choose to remain truly independent, as the voters believe they are, and abstain in the leader's vote. Alternatively, the Independents can vote for Labour or Conservative. This is a matter of respect for the electorate. It would be very strange so early in a council for a vote for an independent councillor to turn into a vote for Labour. If that is to be the case, then as a very minimum, the voters and the general public must be informed. It must be clear that a vote for independent is a vote for Labour. This is not about playing political games, but it strikes to the very heart of democracy and of political honesty. If on the doorstep we tell voters one thing and then immediately do something else, no wonder we politicians are so badly thought of. We respect the independence of the independents. We are clear on this important vote for the leader of council. They should abstain. Propping up any other party risks losing their independence, and they will be reminded of it in the future. We must ask ourselves, as the electorate will, what is the motivation behind propping up a minority Labour administration? Do the Independents and Labour political strategies align? I'm not sure they do. Is there a common bond? Not that I can see. Or is it something else? Is it just possible that power is in their grasp and can't be resisted, whatever the cost? Now, I have always respected the Independents, hard-working, focused on their wards, trying their very best to help those they serve. They have always fiercely defended their independence. They've told me that they are not bound to one party or another. And yet today, are we to see all that thrown away? A recorded vote will mean that each and every councillor will be required to state who they're going to vote for. I would be expecting, and so will those that elected us, that all independent councillors will abstain rather than voting for either Labour or Conservative. I don't believe in all good conscience they have a choice. Of course, this motion may not pass. It might be voted down. And if that is the case, we must all ask why. Is it to hide from the public record who is in fact propping up Labour? I commend this motion to suspend council procedure rules for the purpose of having a recorded vote on the appointment of the leader. Thank you.
Who else wishes to speak? Councillor Sims?
Thank you. And I apologise if I sneeze. I've just come back from the West Country and my hay fever is terrible. But I can confirm that the potholes are worse there than they are in Suffolk. But moving on. Democracy, it's really important and it matters to everyone, it matters to us, it matters to you, it matters to residents, and it matters to everyone. So the original derivation of democracy is demos. Demos in the Greek means the people, and we represent the people, and what we say and when we're elected really matters. And to stand on being an independent and then to change and move and sway is something that the residents don't like. They like to know who they have elected and what they stand for. And if you elect one person for one thing and then they change and sway in the wind, it will be not rewarded. And I hope that you recognise that and think carefully.
Thank you. Anybody else wishes to speak at all? No, not at all. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you reserved your right to speak at the end, did you?
Yes. Yes, thank you. I'm happy to second this motion. I listened very carefully to what the leader of the Conservative group said, and I have to say he hasn't quite got his facts right. The leader, if I am elected as leader of the council, I will be leader of the West Suffolk Working Partnership. That will include Labour, Green, the Liberal Democrat and independent councillors. We will work together for the benefit of the residents and the businesses and any other stakeholders of West Suffolk. We will not be playing politics. We will be working hard for the benefit of our community. And I believe in democracy, I believe in it very, very much. And I think the people of West Suffolk have made it very clear that they do not want a Conservative administration. I therefore am very happy to support this motion and in the interests of openness, although I do hope that moving forward we don't end up as a council that is constantly being slowed down by procedural rules. So I do beg the leader of the Conservative group that he allows us to get on with our work rather than slowing us down with pointless procedure. I will support this motion. Thank you.
Councillor Andrew Smith. Was he not allowed to speak anymore?
No, because that was seconded. Asked to speak at the end. Sorry. Sorry, Councillor Smith.
It's like planning, isn't it? When you don't let me speak. Okay. So we take a vote on motions to suspend procedures. All those in favour? Keep your hands up. Yeah, you happy? Okay, you can calm down now. There was any against? There was. No abstentions either, I didn't see. Thank you.
So you can suspend the procedure.
Yes. Right, next.
So announce that you've suspended proceedings.
We have suspended the procedural rules in order to take a recorded vote. Are we ready?
I will explain the procedure to you. First of all, the chair will take nominations and will ask if individuals nominated will accept those nominations. Once we have the names of those nominees, I will then call each of your names out in turn. I apologise in advance if I mispronounce any, I do apologise. Your answer will be the name of the individual that you're nominating or whether you're abstaining from voting. Okay, is that clear?
Do we need to remind members who they're voting for? Or the choice? We've always been going on, it gets forgetful. Right. Okay. So, with the nominations for the leader of the council, we have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Happy to nominate Councillor Waterman as leader of West Suffolk Council.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other nominations?
30 seconds.
Always.
Thank you very much
You
indeed.
always did, mate.
Look, I hear what Councillor Waterman says, and I respect him and I respect the independent, newly elected Labour councillors. But there is a choice to make. And I've worked alongside many of the re-elected councillors in this chamber on committees, and I think we've built up some mutual friendships and mutual respect and mutual trust. But it is quite clear from what Councillor Clark was saying that the very DNA of an independently elected councillor is potentially threatened by this working partnership, and I accept what you said. And the choice is quite clear. If you want to remain completely independent, abstain from supporting the Labour or Conservatives. But in that context, thank you, Chair, for that levity. I have no hesitation in nominating Councillor Nick Clark as the leader of West Suffolk Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to put themselves forward for nominations to leader of the council? No, that's it, time up. Let's take the vote. Thank you.
Richard Alcock,
For Councillor Waterman.
Peter Armitage,
Does this have to go red?
no, as soon as
For
it's green.
Councillor Milton.
John Augustine, as soon as it's green.
For Nick Clark.
Nick Bradshaw,
Councillor Waterman.
Sarah Broughton,
Nick Clark.
Tony Brown,
Councillor Waterman.
Carol Bull,
Nick Clark.
Mike Chester,
Councillor Clark.
Patrick Chung,
For Nick Clark.
Nick Clark,
Nick Clark.
Dawn Dicker,
Councillor Waterman.
Joe Dicker,
Cliff Waterman.
Andy Drummond,
For Councillor Nick Clark.
Paul Furman,
Councillor Waterman.
Susan Glossop,
Councillor Nick Clark.
John Griffiths,
Councillor Clark.
Luke Halpin,
Councillor Waterman.
Pat Hanlon,
Councillor Waterman.
Donna Higgins,
Councillor Waterman.
Diane Hind,
Councillor Cliff Waterman.
Becky Hoffensberger,
Councillor Clark.
Ian Holder,
Councillor Clark.
Jan Jarvis,
Councillor Waterman.
Gerald Kelly,
Councillor Waterman.
Rowena Lindberg,
Councillor Waterman.
John London,
Councillor Waterman.
Aaron Lucarini,
Councillor Waterman.
Victor Buchanan,
Councillor Waterman.
Charlie Lynch,
Councillor Clark.
Brigitte Major,
Councillor Nick Clark.
Margaret Marks,
Councillor Clark.
Andrew Martin,
Councillor Waterman.
Joe Mason,
Councillor Clark.
Sarah Marmain White,
Councillor Clark.
Laura Jane Miller-Jones,
Councillor Waterman.
Andy Neal,
Councillor Waterman.
Sue Perry,
Councillor Waterman.
Sarah Pugh,
Councillor Clark.
Joanna Rayner,
Councillor Clark.
Karen Richardson,
Councillor Clark.
Richard Bout,
Councillor Clark.
Marion Rushbrook,
Councillor Clark.
Jules Savage,
Councillor Waterman.
Marilyn Sayer,
Councillor Waterman.
Ian Shipp,
Councillor Waterman.
Andrew Smith,
Councillor Clark.
David Smith,
Councillor Waterman.
that's for Councillor Waterman.
Sure.
Liz Smith,
Councillor Waterman.
Andrew Speed,
Nick Clark.
Karen Soons,
Nick Clark.
Sarah Stamp,
Nick Clark.
Frank Stennett,
Councillor Waterman.
David Taylor,
Councillor Waterman.
Jim Thorndike,
Councillor Waterman.
Julia Wakelam,
Councillor Waterman.
Don Waldron,
Councillor Waterman.
Cliff Waterman,
Councillor Waterman.
Tracy Whitehand,
Councillor Waterman.
Indy Wijanayaka,
Councillor Waterman.
Phil Whittam,
Councillor Waterman.
Kevin Yarrow.
Councillor Waterman.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, members. We'll now move back into normal council procedural rules, and I'll announce the scores. Councillor Waterman, I've got to get this right. Councillor Waterman 36, Councillor Clark 35. I declare that Councillor Cliff Waterman is elected leader of West Suffolk Council. My right hand here, right? Councillor Waterman 37, Nick Clark 25, sorry. We'll be having words. Okay, thank you. I call upon Councillor Waterman as leader of the council to announce your deputy leader and your cabinet members, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. And thank you very much, Council, for putting your trust in me as your leader. I promise I will be the leader of the whole Council, and I promise I will not indulge in politics in the Council chamber. I'm very, very happy to announce an extraordinarily strong leadership team. I will appoint Victor Lukianic as Deputy Leader. In the Cabinet, I will appoint Donna Higgins to take the portfolio of families and communities. I will appoint Indy Wijanayata as portfolio holder for growth. I will appoint Richard O'Driscoll as portfolio holder for housing. I will appoint Ian Shipp as leisure portfolio holder for leisure, culture and community hubs. I will appoint David Taylor as portfolio holder for operations. I will appoint Jim Thorndike as portfolio holder for planning. I will appoint Gerald Kelly as portfolio holder for regulatory, environment and governance. And finally, and very far from least, I will appoint Diane Hine as portfolio holder for resources and performance.
Thank you, Councillor Waterman. Okay, move on to the next item. Review of the political balance and appointment to various committees for 23-24. I call upon Cliff Waterman, Leader of the Council, to introduce the item and move the motion.
Once again, thank you very much, Chair. I think everybody has on their desk in front of them the printouts prepared in consultation between the three main group leaders. As ever in these cases, there are people who are putting 6 of a person on a committee and therefore have to round up. There's a certain amount of give and take that has to take place. I'm very pleased to announce that has all taken place, and I commend to you the arrangements as shown on the piece of paper, which I can't actually find myself, but I've got to see them. I commend this motion to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone to second the motion? Councillor Hine.
I second the motion.
Does anyone wish to speak on the motion? Okay, thank you. Okay, if we can take the vote, please. Raise your hands for. Okay, any against? Any abstentions? Unanimous decision, thank you. Right, we now need to item 8, the appointment of chair and vice chair of scrutiny committees, which also includes, the overview and scrutiny committee and performance and audit committee as well. Right. I call upon the leader of the council to make his nomination for election of chair of ONS.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very happy to nominate Councillor Sarah Brawson, who I know will scrutinise all that comes before her with thoroughness and fairness. I commend Councillor Sarah Brawson to this council. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Councillor Brawford, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Thank you. Any other nominations? No. Okay, if we can take a vote please on Sarah Broughton. Right, that's unanimous, thank you. So Sarah Broughton will be the chair of ONS. Okay, we now need to take, well, we're now Vice Chair of the ONS Committee.
Me again? Yes.
Go on.
Okay, so I'd like to nominate Councillor Marion Rushbrook for Vice Chair over the scrutiny. And I'm sure again that she will do her best in her duty to scrutinise all that comes before her. I commend her to this council. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Rushford, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Thank you. Any more nominations? No? Let's take a vote then. All in favour? Okay, I declare Councillor Rushbrook is the Vice Chair of ONS. Okay, now we're going to do the Performance and Audit Scrutiny Committee. I call upon the leader again for your nomination.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very happy to nominate Councillor Peter Armitage for this role. Councillor Armitage, I know, has the skills and the knowledge and the tenacity to scrutinise the performance and audit functions of the council, and I commend him to this council. Thank you, Chair.
Any other nominations? No? Yeah, that's true. Peter, do you accept the nomination? Sorry.
Yes.
You do. Thank you. Okay. Any other nominations? No, we didn't have any. Okay. Can we vote, please, all in favour? Any against? Or abstentions? Okay. Peter Armitage, declare you're the Vice Chair of... Chairman. So, Chairman, Performance and Audit Committee. We've got the Vice Chair. I wish this would make things easier. I don't think it does, actually. I'm better at winging it. Right, I call upon the leader again to nominate someone for the Vice Chair of Performance and Audit Committee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Joe. I was kind of fascinated by watching this changing colour the whole time. But yes, I'm very happy to nominate Councillor Andy Neal as Vice Chair of the Performance and Audit Scrutiny Committee. I've worked with Andy on the Performance and Audit Scrutiny Committee, and I know he takes it very seriously and will bring all his knowledge and skills to bear on this post. And I commend Andy Neal, Councillor Andy Neal, to this council.
Andy Neal, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Thank you. Any other nominations? All in favour, please. Okay. Any against? Abstain? Okay. Councillor Andy Neal, you are Vice Chair on the Performance and Audit Committee. Thank you. Item 9 is review of representation of outside bodies. I call upon the leader to introduce this item and move the motion.
Once again, thank you, Chair. This is a relatively, I won't say routine, but it's basically just confirming that we put our delegated power monitoring officer, who in consultation with the leaders of groups will make the appointments to our representatives to outside bodies. And I hope everyone has seen the list of outside bodies published at the back of the document pack. And I commend the council to vote in favour of this motion. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Anyone to second the motion, please? Councillor Cavan?
Willing to second the motion, Chair.
Anyone wish to speak on this motion? final vote, hopefully of the evening. All those in favour? That's unanimous, no against or abstentions. Thank you very much. Well, thank you members for your patience, and I can now announce the business of this meeting is concluded. Thank you all attended, and I have to inform you to leave the building when you're ready via the front doors, please. Thank you very much.